You're listening to the Spartan Sports Network Weekly Recap. And here's your host, Walt Fowler.
This is the Spartans Weekly Recap for the week ending November 25th. A light week due in part to the Thanksgiving holiday. One game to speak of in women's basketball. The women finished up their two-game trip to Hawaii by beating Chaminade 64-51. With the win, the Spartans women's squad improves to 4-1 on the season. Senior guard Julia Winnick leading the way against Chaminade, 20 points, including she connected on 6 of 7 from behind the arc. Redshirt junior guard Ruth Adams had 14 points, 6 rebounds. Senior guard Chelsea Murphy also contributing with 11 points and 5 assists. Sophomore forward Emily Preston was recently honored as she was named the East Coast Conference Player of the Week. Preston averaged 19.5 points, 9.5 rebounds, and 4.5 assists in 2 games at Bloomfield and at Hawaii Pacific. Spartans head coach Kim Lusk gives her take on the 6'2" sophomore forward from Australia. Kim, excellent job by Emily Preston in the 2 games, Bloomfield and Hawaii Pacific, so much so she was named the East Coast Conference Player of the Week. Just tell me a little about her and what she brings to the table.
Well, she's a big presence out there on the court on both ends of the floor for us. And, those 2 games she was able to really, finish around the basket and just dominate on the boards a little bit. So, she's really just kind of just beginning to scratch the surface and come into her own as a player that wants to put points on the board.
That's Spartans women's head basketball coach Kim Lusk. In men's basketball, freshman forward Osbel Caraballo was recently honored. The Venezuelan native was named the East Coast Conference Rookie of the Week, averaging 11.6 points and 6.3 rebounds in Spartan wins over Goldie Beacom, Post University, and Dominican College. As for the Spartan sports schedule for this coming week, Wednesday, the women's basketball squad back on the court as they head to Caldwell. That's a 5:30 tip-off, and it's a rematch of the first round of last season's NCAA regional matchup, which the Spartans won 61-45. Men's basketball squad also on the court Wednesday. The men are home against Bloomfield. That's a 7 p.m. tip, and that game, a rematch of last season's East Regional quarterfinal, which the Spartans lost to Bloomfield 91-78. On Friday, the esports squad back in action as they take on Rutgers in Fortnite. Saturday, a busy day for Spartan sports. Women's bowling gets underway with the Northeast Classic, and that's at Lodi Lanes in Lodi, New Jersey. Also getting underway on Saturday is the men's and women's indoor track season, as the men and women for the Spartans will compete in the Boston University season opener that's being held at the BU Track and Tennis Center. Saturday, also, women's hoops are home against Goldie Beacom. That's a 1 o'clock tip-off. Meanwhile, the men's basketball squad Saturday on the road at the University of Sciences in Philadelphia. That game, a 2 p.m. tip-off. Saturday night, men's ice hockey is back in action as the Spartans face off against Suffolk Community College. That's a home game for the Spartans at Sportorama in Muncie, and they will face off against Suffolk Community College at 9 p.m. Well, that wraps up the weekly recap. I'm Walt Fowler. Catch you next week right here on the Spartan Sports Network.